Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Are you doing alright? How are you feeling? As if you need to ask either questions, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie, and don't forget to eat as well. Eat well, okay? Roger! And you? Yes? You'd better square this case away. Got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Hey, detective, you're on our side for once, right? Yep. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Yeah, really? Can you, sir? Of course. I've got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't match with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? Yes, sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You got me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I'm not gonna get bored of that. Bitter. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "Yes, talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see, so our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Godot, I actually find that pretty nice. Our trusty Phoenix, yay! So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you I'm the real Phoenix. I wasn't questioning whether you were Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out now. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. Why am I thinking of Von Karma right now? Because I don't think I can think of anyone else. Who could Godot be? I don't know. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that Frenemy said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation. Witness, state your name for this court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective Occupation Dick Gumshoe. Other way around, detective. Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, this guy who was on the initials investigation tied up with another case now. I heard Gumshoe has really got everything under control, for everyone's sake. I see, so Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of this case? Yes, sir. The victim's name is Glenn Aig. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll for the Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. Glenn's autopsy report added to the court record. And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. Pardon me. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the moment of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. Gene Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. Come, detective, take up this hammer, and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. Let's do this, Gumshoe. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Trace of poison were found in his coffee cup, and what we found was potassium cyanide. The stuff really packs a punch, and, looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. The facts of this case seem to be I don't know what I said, ironic. Mr. Wright, I would like you to begin your cross-examination. But, yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around, is that understood? I already told you, that wasn't me! When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I just say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. The testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. And what killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. The 2 testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder. What's the bet the fake Phoenix Wright, the big buff guy, blackmailed them because he'd easily be able to blackmail the chef because he needs money. And he'd probably be able to blackmail the old guy because the old guy needs a job. So maybe he did that. Perhaps that view of the victim's table is obscured in some way. Huh, that argument is as weak as the coffee of Trusby-on-Trite. I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? Looks more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance of the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place. He could have walked out! I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trike, could anyone have overlooked a second person at the table? Certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. I understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of e-piece? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I'll press harder, as usual. And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well, is it? Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? Traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup. So traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else. Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder? If I had to put it into layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper. Huh. Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? The victim took his coffee black with no sugar. It seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of the coffee? Huh? What do you mean? According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking. In case you were wondering, the last objection was for the detective there. Huh? For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece of evidence? Yes, that piece. What piece was it again? This! Oh my god. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There is clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this. That sound, they had that sound of him drinking it. For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and defendants. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. Okay then. What we found was something cyanide, I forgot. Potassium cyanide, that's it. I've heard of the chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? It's, well, that stuff's lethal. Eat too much in your history. How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's about enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that? You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Some kind of motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown away out of proportion. You know what my golden rule is, Detective. Chuck out a bad cup of tea, you can always get another. Huh? I didn't get it. I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, Detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. They said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. And is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Huh. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. That's the $500,000 ticket. One of the female police officers found her when she was conducting a search of the defendant. He was probably pushed into an apron. Huh, she's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court. I better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. He probably wants it. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too. It feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. But he wants to say it was found on Maggie's person. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she was charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows that score. There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for the sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, I suppose the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. with one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've seen. The stain looks like... It can't be blood, can it? Huh. Seems the star of our play was a little flustered. Somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Something else? I presume you mean... Of course, I'm referring to the pocket. The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, Maggie's prints were the ones on it. The court will accept these items as evidence. There's something still bothering me. Mr. Godot, why have you not explained the bloodstain on the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone in their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, detective. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last verdict I wrote on this case. The motive, the opportunity, the supporting evidence. They have all been clearly established. Well, Trite, seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation here. Let's begin. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been really tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quickly, and then the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one, so let the fun begin. Wait a sec. Huh? Did you say something? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down, he's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. Seems Mr. Glenn Elg visited his doctor before he went to Trusbyon. We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do now? Should I leave this alone or ask him more? Let's ask what the prescription bag was about. So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag we found was empty. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty? Interesting. Huh. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence. Desperate, are you, Trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that? Yeah, nothing missing. What about the bag?
Objection!
Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction in your testimony. Finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will you? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Trials Beyond. Where then did the medicine disappear to? You're too cool, pal! Indeed, due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such a vital piece of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been lethal poison itself. Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? That's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. What's the clinic's name got to do with it? Oh my god, it's gonna be Hot Clinic. New Air Otolithological Clinic. Oh, good. Otolari... I don't even know. I don't even want to pronounce that. What kind of illness was the victim suffering from? Mr. Godot. Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bit of war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elg found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum? Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that is to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read that fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trials Beyond. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have had eaten his medication. Seems that the medication is irrelevant to this case after all. No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? I don't know what to do. Push the medication issue! Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trials Beyond. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the scene of the crime. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. Hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either, but it did. The possibility is undeniable. Ugh. That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot? I've got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater? Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial, and this is something that bothers me. Yay, good job, Nick! The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Huh, I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned for a recess. Indeed. Phew, that was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in that. That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die a bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there. Can't believe Detective Gumshoe, y'all could betray us like that. Huh? He said he'd help me. He totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job right. Do his job, right? It's okay, I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them all my whole life. But if it really hurt this time, it felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy so much, I don't ever want to see him again. Poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo, lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. I bet he's going to be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me, even though there's never-ending bird seeds. January 7th, 11:15 AM, District Court, courtroom number 4. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Monkey Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who called the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Throw the seeds! Name and occupation, if you don't mind. Name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty, oh, what make me? Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times, too. You don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation. Occupation? Listen, young'un. How much call do you think there is for a kimono embroidery here? Kimono embroidery? That's what I do, or did, back in Japan. I embroidered family crest on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before the country even existed. Wow, real craftsmen. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe he could embroidery my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working for the cash register at a burger joint to pretend to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. Now then, witness, were you at the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of cappuccino. Seeds? What do you think these are, I see. So you saw everything that happened, Gramps. Did I? Oh yes, I did. I saw it all. Then please, tell the court. We're all ears. Sure, I'll tell you. I'll tell you every last detail. He's really getting into this. What I witnessed. The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl brought him a cappuccino, but she put something into it. The man took one sip into it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. Remember her well. That's the first time that we've seen the picture of the girl that she's going to send the coffee. It looks like that girl we ran into that looked like she had a bandage over her head, and then left immediately. And May said she hadn't had any customers, so Phoenix questioned who she was. It looks like her. Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. God, you're as bad as the rest of them. As these newfangled words, what's wrong with the old-fashioned ones? Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. What I witnessed. Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw? Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I. What? I see. My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving. I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress. I saw what the serving girl put into the cappuccino as well. But I know what's coming up and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that if witness add what he knows about this to his testimony. I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure. There's no question about it, she's very conspicuously put some white powder in there. The man took one sip of it and looked like he was in terrible pain. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Are you sure about that? You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It is a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her, you know, she's practically naked in that uniform. So the particular feature that you recognize about the waitress is her outfit. But anyone could wear just such an outfit, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together. I guess I got a bit carried away. There are other things I recognize about her, too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Press harder. Sure, you saw a witness take the coffee over the victim. But what matters is whether the waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, there are these other features that you recognize about the defendant. I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps were loose. Do you think old Seedy really saw Maggie do it? Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there. But he was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitresses. I guess. She makes a good point, though. Hey, did I just say something clever? I wonder if the waitress Mr. Curtis saw really was Maggie. That's what we have to figure out, Nick. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all, her face? As if I want to remember that. The witness noticed the straps in the accused aprons. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right, I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I... pardon me. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this. Ask about the waitress's back. The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back. So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitresses from the front? Huh, he's got you there, Gramps. People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment! I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. And if I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her the front. Well, you should have seen blood, or at least ketchup. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this. God, that filthy thing would suit filth just like you, just perfectly. So it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that, Well, you half-witted clot. Got you there. Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron. Is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning? And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. He's probably gonna make something up saying, oh, I did see it, and... yeah... My eyesight wasn't working. Nah. You can't just say, oops, your way out of this. Huh. Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there were only one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when that one waitress puts the poison into the coffee cups, This old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted. Can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out. Very well, let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. About the victim. He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. This young man was listening to the wireless, I remember that well. Then the servant girl in question brought over the Javicino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Testimony we've just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me like he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we gonna handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? It's not kind of cruel. I suppose, but it's what I do best. Alright then, let's do this. If I remember right... Here. Now, I think it has to do something with the coffee cup. The coffee contained potassium cyanide covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. A little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know, there's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you, nothing. If I get anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make it that his left. What is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim, you notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where the stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup on his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait! If you think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about the dirty coffee cup, I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony. That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no questions, I'm a good law-abiding citizen I am. It's that dead young hotbot and you and your spiky head. Yahoo, who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man, we've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years I have, you can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Godot, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Godot? But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before. Sorry, I was reading something else. I've got the thingamajig next to me. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup his left hand. What? But that makes no sense. Sort of. No, The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as his green lens on his specs, so that means it was on his left. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. Like, I guess if you were one of those types of people, you could pick up the cup with your left hand and then turn the cup slightly, so it's like the handle's facing the right and he just drinks like that, but that would make everything so much more difficult. Like, even my hand can't go all that way and it would feel weird. What? Why would... that makes no sense. Unless someone did drink it when he wasn't looking. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HGT, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth. It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts, in good old black and white. Left hand or right hand? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side of the green lens of these specs. Wait, was he? No, I don't think he was. That's the thing. Do I have, The victim was a programmer. Yeah, his left eardrum was ruptured. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. I could only see the side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Traces of medication for his condition were found in this ear canal. That's right, it's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Beep, beep, pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know that his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot, a single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in this cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. Maybe I'm left. No, I don't know. The lad drank his cappuccino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand, and then switched to his left. That's what the old man says. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions. The victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee. This. Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory was credible. And the results are clear. Testimony given by this witness is useless. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court, but to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old Fuji. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. The court is adjourned. Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there, I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now. How is your bad memory my fault? Sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. Kept my mouth shut until now. There's something else the court should know. What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, there might not be anything. But I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? Final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the coffee you want if you come to my house after the trial. Maybe 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet. Much, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. Ha ha ha! You better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with those box of seeds. Final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of it myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javicino. Well, the clumsy idiot's upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turning things upside down. Really? Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You're doubting me again? You doubting a poor and defenseless man? No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah, so what? That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're bird brain, that's why that's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. You'll find a cross-examination, please. This should be the end of the court trial. After that, I'm going to take a break. But for now, I'm going to kick your ass, because I really doubt you're telling the truth. There. So the table got wet. Are you sure about that? Ooh, the vase is still standing.
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm not Granddad of yours, Hopscotch. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. What is it now? I just remembered something. Yes, go on. The broken vase. It was on my table. What? Oh well, you see. It startled me when that young man lad collapsed, so I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table? Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Kodo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps it's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kodo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Ah, yes, I remember something else. Balif, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait, listen to me! No, you cannot silence the truth. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear. Wow, Nick, you did it! I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor? The witness we have just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly into this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. Godot's really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then. Mr. Wright, there are 3 copies, my own, yours, and Mr. Godot's. Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony. Like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. The court is adjourned. To be continued. Boom!